Hello, and thanks for joining us on Universal Heritage Television Niger. My name is Afam Echi, your host. I'm here yet again to bring you another package of our face-to-face on UHTV Niger, which is our personality interview program. My guest today is Dr. Ugo Williams. Dr. Ugo Williams is the national team leader of Next Generation Nigeria Leadership Initiative. He was also the youngest presidential aspirant in PDP in the last 2023 general election. Dr. Williams, you are welcome to our program.
Thank you.
Yeah. My name is Afam Echi again. Please remember to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube platform. Yeah, my guest today is going to rub minds on some contemporary issues that are afflicting our nation, and maybe proffer some solutions to the extent he can. Dr. Williams, now I remember you run an NGO, and commentators have observed that most of the NGOs, numbering over 1,000 plus in Imo State, their impacts are not felt. Some of them that are supposed to provide interventionist role, in some areas where government fails, and maybe also demand for good governance. There's either docile, they're sleeping, or they are compromised, or they appear non-existent. Why is it so?
Thank you very much for having me this afternoon. It's a pleasure being with you today. NGO, the non-governmental organization in Imo State, if you say they are up to 1,000, yes, there are so many of them. They may not be up to 1,000, but there are so many of them. And over the years, they've done so much in Imo. They've carried out some community activities, done some money outreaches during the days of Global Fund for malaria, for tuberculosis. All these activities were carried out by NGOs in different parts of the state. And there are also NGOs who are also into health, who are also into, especially for orphan and homeless people. There are people also into leadership and good governance. So there are many people who have their thematic areas of coverage. Currently in Imo State, the NGOs, if you say they are dormant, you're not wrong, because the activity of NGOs in Imo have slowed down in the last, not just in the last 4 years, but in the last 8 years or more. Especially it is worsened in these last 4 years.
So why is it so?
Yes, why is like that is because first of all, there is no enabling environment for NGOs to thrive in Imo. That's just remain the point. NGOs are funded by donors, and NGOs are funded by donors who sees challenges in a community or in a place or in a society and want to fund that particular challenges in alliance with the government. Most times you see donors who say they're paying counterpart funding, the government pays the other counterpart, whereby your state government is not paying counterpart funding for a new donor-funded project. It means that the NGOs will be dormant because they are not funded, because these are non-governmental, non-profit making organizations. So they are not profit making. They only get fund, disburse it the way it is, and share to the people that are needed for it. Because they are not doing it to make profit and invest and invest and invest again. So in Imo, there is the NGOs that have been so dormant recently because the government has not been paying counterpart funding for several projects like New Map. We have lost New Map. We have currently in the new mark scheme that Imo State is not involved. There are other CSDP, used to know CSDP, all those RAMP, all these projects are donor-funded projects. States like Kaduna State are champions in NGO work because they are open and there's transparency in their governance. So all donors push their funds to those states. So
what you're saying basically is the inability of the state government to provide their counterpart funding in some cases, like like the case of RAMP. I'm aware.
And so nobody
talks about RAMP
anymore.
And
if you talk about RAMP, there are areas NGOs has key roles to play. It's just like in New Map, livelihood and
erosion.
erosion control. Under that project, there is what is called livelihood package, which is when you are remediating the environment, you must take care of people who are living, who you are relocating, what are they going to live again, and these are handled by NGOs.
Okay, now in the 2023 election, you ran as a presidential candidate under the
People's Democratic Party. Many people will considers your ambition as a tall one, given the status of people you run against. Looking at your age, looking at your social standing, you were considered what is this guy driving?
Yeah. So what was your motivation?
Okay, thank you very much for bringing that to place. Nigeria today is where we are today because we felt to recognize and engage the young people to make use of their youthful age to develop the country. And that is why all the problem we're having today, that's one of the problems. Countries like Dubai are running very efficiently, Singapore, China, because they're making use of young people between the age of 25 to 45 and 50. They run the economy, they run the government. In Nigeria today, one of the things that motivated me to run for presidency, especially in my party, People's Democratic Party, was because in the people coming from the party, among the people that came out for presidency within the time frame before I declared before P2B left the party. I declared for presidency before P2B. Two motivation. One, there was no young person contesting under
in
PDP. They were all above 50 years. They were all 60 years plus. And the young people, in fact, I was awarded by the youth of PDP. They made me a youth ambassador in Wadada Plaza. So during the award, there was a lot of lamentation and concern by youth speakers. So, but when I was to speak, I asked them, people are running for presidents now. Who is running? So you're complaining. So who is the young person that is involved to drive for your stake, drive for your own opportunity, drive your own vision? But there is nobody. So how do you become a stakeholder when you have no stake? So if the older ones finish and become president, they also carry their older people to run the government. So that motivated me to. There and then I told them, I just jokingly said, okay, I'm going to run for president. The whole hall scattered, everybody was Mr. So I was going, press people besieged me, everybody started interviewing me. And from there, everybody, Mr. President. A week later, they started calling me, what are we doing now? When are we going to start the campaign? So that's also motivated me further, that there is a need for younger person to be involved on what we're doing. And we're not just trying to be participant, we wanted to take the opportunity. And if someone like me was given the presidential ticket of PDP wouldn't have lost the election, because you can also ascertain that the election was driven by the young people in the last election, and there was drive for change. And if you have a young man like me, and if you was running for presidency, maybe getting an older person to be my vice, to become youth adult partnership to foster a better Nigeria. And you see a lot of people will drive the change. People know that there's a new Nigeria. So the drive was to see how we can engage, be involved in decision making of our country, and encourage other young people that thing you feel that the older people are doing, you as a young person can do it. And I'm happy I did it successfully and came back without any problem.
Okay. Now, there is this common statement made everywhere that the youths are the leaders of tomorrow. And you're a young man. How do you relate to that statement? Do you agree that, looking at the dynamics of what is playing out, taking a retrospect, going back and what is happening presently, do you think there is still a future for the youths of Nigeria, that they are the future leaders of tomorrow?
There is nothing like future leaders of tomorrow, because the leaders, there's always leaders at that point, which are the young people. The youths are the future. If you say the youth are the future leaders of tomorrow, what have you prepared for them for that tomorrow? Tomorrow has been coming and going, and you have not seen any young person, having played key role. In our early years of our country, 1960, 1960 something, 1970, this country was run and driven by young people.
Okay.
People like Nanda Zikiwe, they were young when they started running the affairs of this country.
Yes, right.
Tafawa Balewa, they were young when they started running this affair of country. Gowon.
In their 30s.
Even Buhari, in his first time as a military head of state, he was young. He was less than 40 years. He was 36 years. So many of our leaders who are currently still serving were young when they got their first, maybe governor, senator. Tinubu, when he was a senator, how old was he? He was within 40 years. When Donald became president, became governor, it was less than 40 years, it was 30 something.
Yeah.
When Ojos Okalu became governor of Abia State, it was within 40 years. So, but currently today, as a young man of 35, 40 years, you come out to run for governor, even president, they say you are too young, go and wait. You want to run for senate, they say you go and wait for tomorrow. So, there is nothing for the future of young Nigerians. I think the future is bright because we are making this country is still a developing country, and what we need to do is to get things right at this point. And when we get it right, the younger ones will definitely enjoy this country. But the young people need to play key roles in getting involved in shaping that future.
Okay, that's okay. Looking at what is going on in the country, there is serious food crisis all over the nation.
Yes.
I think it got so bad to the point that the Niger State governor, instructed or restricted the exportation of food down to the south, and ordered that any truck found loading food will be confiscated and the food distributed free. Now, assuming the other northern states were to take same action, and given the fact that down here in the south, our food supply is anchored on what we get from the north, how do you think we can navigate out of the crisis? Now there is no food, assuming there is further restriction of don't bring food here. What do you think is the fate of the Igbo man?
Definitely, if that happens, it's going to be a crisis in the southeast, because the crisis will be a high rate of the inflation rate in the southeast, or the high rate of cost of living in the area will increase, escalate more than in the north. And but for average Igbo man who is naturally know what to do at every time, who's actually hardworking and prudent in what to do, will always think out what to do, and will always also not be stranded too. You'll be surprised an Igbo man will start importing food from Rwanda and importing food from, you might say it will take time to bring it in, but that is not something we should pray that it happens. But it will definitely affect the southeast. But the southeast is start looking inward. Although we don't have too much land, but we can start making use of the little one we have. Farming has reduced in the southeast. Farming has reduced. We are now basically basing on maybe our normal business, trading, and also white collar jobs, forgetting our farming. Normally, before now, we found what to eat in the southeast. The only thing we take from outside southeast is mostly like we are taking tomato, we are taking onions from the north, and the normal beef that we take from the north. But currently, we are even taking cassava, taking yam. We used to have yam bars in our various villages.
But so we no
longer have it again. The only place I know, at least I can boast that my father have yam bar currently.
Up till now?
Yes.
Okay, you're from Mbise?
I'm from Mbise. Even last year, I showcased my father's yam bar. It was very big and huge. So many people need to also...
Maybe you will oblige us an opportunity to come and interview.
Yes, I think that it will be during the harvesting time. Because right now, even as I'm talking to you now, I just gave him about 6 plots of land where he's farming his yam.
Really?
Yes, as I left him, he said just this one time, so that's what he's doing currently. So many people need to also engage more in that. Farming shouldn't be only for farmers alone. Even you as a businessman should have a portion of land where you're farming something that you can also get. So the Southeast need to bring back that.
Okay. Now, you're a young man, so don't feel any way. I am focusing my question on the youths.
Okay, no, it's important.
Now, there's so many issues are moving around the youths. The crime. When it comes, the youths associated with kidnapping, ritual murder, scam, thuggery, drug abuse, prostitution, and all manner of things. Linked to the youths. And when you look at the situation is escalating to the point that sometimes when you imagine what the situation would look like 5-10 years down the line, it becomes so scary because the younger ones, even those in secondary school, are now absorbed into this criminal situation. Now, where do you think the challenge lies? Who should be blamed for this? Is it poor parenting, or do you think it is the youths that are the cause of what is happening? So where do you locate this issue so that we will know how to begin to tackle it?
I think it is not so one-sided. One, poor parenting is one of it. We have to, those days, even when you grow up, I know your father will not allow you to go and bring in even another exercise book that is not your own, that you came back from school with.
Yes.
You will check your bag, and if you see another exercise book that is not your own,
you will account.
Where did you bring it? Or even a Bible.
Yeah.
But I can give you, I can reliably inform you today that 10 parents out of 10, only one will ask their child when they come back from school, say, which Bible, who gave you this Bible? Or who gave you this exercise book that you came back home? So parenting. How many parents have seen their child that is 18, 20, 25 years, who is still in poly naked, or who is still in UNN or wherever, you're still in university, and he came back home with a vehicle, Mercedes, cost worth 25, 30 million. And they never ask, how did you get money? You're still in school. So, poor parenting. They now come to the government. The system is, our system is totally mixed up because, one, what is government doing to engage the young people, the active young people? What is government doing to engage the NYC who are leaving the NYC service?
Okay.
How many people are leaving NYC service that you said are getting job employed or get a skill that,
or employ themselves?
Or employable. Then you also go back to the school system where you and I pass through. In schools today, before you pass is your money. So people have left school and be doing the Yahoo there. They don't even go to school. What they know, the lecturer, what do you need? You need 200,000. They'll throw in their house. Transfer 200,000 to the lecturer. The lecturer will give them pass, give them C, give them good mark. They call one of their friends, please help me handle everything. So many people have passed from the university today, they never went to exam. It's not only the parents has a lot with them. Morals, values, we have lost all this. Why? Because we have given a gap so much. The Igbo people said when bad thing stays long, it becomes tradition.
A culture.
A culture. It becomes a culture. So now a lot of bad thing has gone wrong. The churches, what are we doing in the society? You will see your children those days. You know how you go to Sunday school. You come to Sunday school. Even sometimes you even go evening work. Those things have moral because they will teach you that stealing is bad. This one is bad. You are afraid. You don't want to get to hellfire. But now nobody they will tell that there is nothing like hellfire. There is nothing like punishment. There is nothing like karma. So there's a lot of
factors
that are driving this. So the government need to do a lot. The parents need to do a lot.
Okay. Now let's talk about our state. We are in the dry season right now. We're in the dry season, and people expect that this is an opportunity for the government to build our roads as we approach the rainy season very shortly. And the government has always boasted that its strength lies in road infrastructure. So how would you reconcile this claim? Because when the rainy season sets in now, it is the rural areas that are badly affected. Most of them are impassable, cannot drive through them, and it has its economic consequences. So how would you reconcile the government claim that they're doing so well in road infrastructure in relation to what we are seeing? And then what could be the explanation that the roads, we have not started doing the roads up to now?
I'm not in the government of the Imo State government, but I'm a citizen. I'm an active participant in what the activities of Imo State as a citizen. Okay. When you talk about saying during the rainy season the rural areas will survive, and I say it's a lie. The town, even the metropolis, the municipal will also survive, because there is most of the roads in the municipal are not good. If you go to places like World Bank, Omugoma, Gotav, these are places that have houses are springing up very high, that the government presence are supposed to be there. The infrastructure, what are the infrastructure people are looking for? Just road and electricity majorly. They now put water. But I can tell you all the government layout in Imo State, both the past government and the current government, all the government layout, there is no way you can say that they have fixed any road. But they have collected levy, they have collected revenues in all those places. So in Imo today, the government have said there is a 3R government, and which they are looking at their major thing they can beat their chest and say they've done so well is road. And you and I, the major road is Olu Road, Okigwe Road, and Mbisen Road that is ongoing. And these are federal roads. These are roads that are refundable. So if these roads are refunded, which I know most of, about two of these roads have been refunded, and if they also are refunded, so what have you done? Federal government did those roads. So which other route are you now doing internally? Most right now in Imo, I expected that the Imo State should be a construction site, because there are a lot of bad roads in Imo in the last 1 year. It's not only in this administration that we have been having bad roads. There are bad roads before now, but this government is putting a road as one of their top priority. So we expect that we have a long dry season since November till now. There have been dry season, like for October, like 4 months or 5 months now. 5 months is even enough for you to finish 2-kilometer road, 3-kilometer road, 4-kilometer road, 1-kilometer road, and some roads are just less than 1 kilometer. But they are important. Those roads are important. Like most of the link roads are very important. They are less than half-kilometer road. So, but I don't understand what is happening in Imo, and I pray that the government will come back to make use of. My challenge is that the time is running out. For the dry season is running out. So, if they don't start it and finish it on time, when will they do it? So, they need to do more. They've not done much in road infrastructure.
Okay, maybe 1 or 2 more questions, and before I let you go. Now, how will you account for the impact of your own NGO? To what extent have you been able to impact lives, and can you say you are fulfilled with the objective, driving your own NGO?
Yeah, we are not fulfilled, because an NGO is a lifetime thing, and we are still alive, working, and we continue to serve humanity and touching lives. But so far, so good. I've actually done a lot, both especially in training young people on good governance and training young leaders. We are trying to also play role model for so many young leaders. Not only just in Imo, we do across the country with a national NGO. It's not an Imo NGO, because our target is also nationwide too. So, but we are not fulfilled yet, because we have a lot. The problem is still so much, and the NGO is all about solving problems and finding a ways to advocate for challenges within the societies and all. So there's a lot to be done, and we need a lot of support and partnership from different quarters. So far, we can't say we are fulfilled, because problem is still everywhere. Now we have run into food crisis in Nigeria, so NGOs should be thinking of how do we manage and train people on, for those in agriculture, thematic areas in agriculture, how do we train people on farming, off-season farming and all that, so that we can have food on the table 24 hours.
Okay. You, drawing from your experience, drawing from what you do as one who is involved in leadership initiative, looking at the situation we find ourselves right now in this country, Nigeria is going through so many challenges, economic, financial, and the rest of it. How do you think, in your own mind, how do you think your own contribution we can navigate out of this So maybe 1 or 2 points, maybe for our leaders to.
Currently,
That's with that we round off the program.
okay. The challenge of Nigeria currently is so bad that we need drastic action, and it's not something that you need to just come out on TV and make an address and tell Nigerians it's going to be better than what we are working hard on it. No, it needs critical attention. For me, if I'm the president of this country today, one of the steps I have to take, first of all, I need to do a meeting with the governors. The governors need to spend 1 week with the president.
But the president, recently there was such a meeting.
It was just a meeting, it was a 24 hours meeting. Nigerian problem is beyond 24 hours meeting. Or it's not even up to 24 hours, just a few hours meeting. Yeah. Maybe talking about the budget and which area. There are critical issues that need to be discussed about Nigeria.
Okay, like
one, the economy of Nigeria is so bad. Now, what do we do about production? Most of the things we are using, we are importing it. Corruption is so high. You need to let the governors, the president needs to let the governor that he's serious in fighting corruption. We need to find a way to bring out these dollars that are packed in different houses or abroad. How do we discourage our people who do Nigerian money from investing abroad and invest in Nigeria, bringing the money in Nigeria too? In many countries, Russia, Singapore, even America, if you bring in $20 million in America today, America will not pursue you. They will allow you to bring in the money. The government uses it and run the economy. That's why you see many Nigerians carry money and go to Switzerland, put all in those ways. Those monies are in those banks. They don't repatriate them. But in Nigeria, what are we doing? Even in Nigeria, as a businessman, it's difficult for you to transfer money to China, to pay for your goods in China. They need to stop. We need to start finding a way to pay from our naira to yen in China, because China is our major means of importation. Most of the things we are using comes from China. That's another step. Another step is local production. We need to think in the next 1 year, where are we going from here? Now, farming, if we don't do much about this year on farming, next year we'll suffer more. So government need to invest more on farming, both in all regions. It's not only in the north, both in the southeast. Today, red oil is more costly than crude oil in the international market. And red oil is abundantly in the southeast, south-south. What is federal government doing for us to now turn the southeast and south-south a hub for red oil in the next 8 years or in the next 10 years? So any government that is in Nigeria needs to start thinking beyond 4 years. Because we always put our thing across 4 years, 8 years. We need to start thinking, if you come in as a president, you should think beyond your tenure.
Yeah.
Because your tenure is not Nigeria. Nigeria continues even after your tenure. So you must draft your policies and programs above your tenure.
Okay. Thank you very much. This is the much we can take.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being part of the program.
You're welcome.
Yeah, viewers, this is where we draw the curtain, and Dr. Go Williams have been able to tell us that the reason IMO, NGOs, or the CSOs are not functioning well is because of a poor enabling environment. And it made us understand that Nigeria is failing because they abandoned their youth. Again, he went further to say that PDP would have won the election if they had fielded him, because it was a youth affair. And he is a youth, by the way. And that poor parenting is responsible for the crimes associated with the youth. Government also, he faulted and said they have a share in the blame. As a way to navigate out of the bad economy, he said Nigeria should get it right with production, curtail corruption, and engage ourselves in farming to return the economy back to where it should be. On that note, we round off the program, and my name again is Aspirant. Please remember to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube platform.